the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't stare, just looking up, don't stare. To my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math. When I hate, I attack. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't stare, just looking up, don't stare.
Alrighty. I'll not lie, I was actually wondering whether I should even go live and do a live, but I knew Paulina, the one of our head admins, will of course scold me to death and probably just put me on a stake or something. So I hope the sound is good and you guys can hear me. Everything is working just fine as it should. You can see the chart. It's all nice and dandy. Thank you all for showing up on this weekend call early weekend stream. Hello, Casey, Stonks, Leo, Michalis, Pools, Philip, Kay, and Christoph. Of course, hello to everyone who's there in the background and just sort of listening in. So I actually thought about not doing a live because, with all honesty, you know what? Let me just show you. Oftentimes people, especially sort of the retail, the average retail, has a tendency to look at everything from a standpoint of what it is compared to yesterday, right? If I'm going to turn on the 1 minute chart, it's very easy to see sort of yesterday we were moving around higher levels, so they were down. But if we just kind of zoom out just a tidbit, we're going to realize we haven't done anything substantial. We've been moving sideways along the very same channel and the very same resistance support level for quite a while now. We've tested it to death right here. You'll be able to see the very same levels prior. Where was that? Where's that? Can I make it in this time frame even? But basically, we're already very well familiar with these levels from before. And so what we end up doing is just basically retesting the very same levels, and here they are. They're kind of hidden inside here. You can kind of see the current level right, where we're at, and you can see the ceiling floor sort of resides somewhere around here in between. And as you can see, that's roughly the levels that we are moving within right now. Those are levels we actually knew about them prior to, right? Just to kind of show that these levels have been retested multiple times. And what we're doing mostly right now, we're stuck sideways within the framework of these very same levels. And yeah, so as you can imagine, we will probably be retesting them multiple times before we continue onwards, right? Here we are. The current channel, if we're looking at the 5 minutes, for example, is pointing upside, right? I would argue probably this junction, right? This area, the median of the larger channel, continuing with the framework of the smaller channel we're moving within. So kind of making it back to 53.30-ish. So that's probably where we're moving towards the end of the session as it's coming to an end. 30 minutes is slowly becoming more bearish, which means that will spill over to next week, of course. By the way, I mean, since maybe I will not see some of you, so happy Easter, in advance. You all have a wonderful holiday with your families. Have a blast, enjoy, rest, drink, eat, do whatever it is that you should be doing with your family. If you ask me, family time is family time spent with families, times well spent. That's just my own humble opinion. I mean, I really do appreciate the whole family thing. Bedwars, hello, thank you very much. Yeah, and again, everybody here, give credit to Bedwars gang. Without her and Leo and Stonks. But when it comes to the Greg, the community needs to know, the community needs to see, the community needs to be up to speed. All of you should be thanking Bedwars gang. She's really making sure I stay in line, and even if I think there's nothing really too important to say, she's like, no, it's important, go live, and I agree. You know what? At the end of the day, she's right. So, tons of respect to our madam here. So yeah, 30 minutes, it appears to be that we're becoming slightly more bearish. It'll probably spill over into next week, which in essence, if you would have hung out with us earlier in the morning today in the community, which we pretty much, I do a hangout throughout most days at market open with the community, at least for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever I can, sometimes for longer, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever we can do. Sometimes we hang out, most of the session there if I don't have any special sessions or anything going on the One-on-One Academy. By the way, which brings me, now I'm down to only 2 spots in the One-on-One Academy, and hurry up, sign up to the Patreon, because in 2 days the prices will be going up. On the 19th, basically, which you might as well consider like in a day and a half from this point on, all the prices on Patreon will be doubling, right? They will be going from $10 to $20, from $20 to $40. So take advantage of it. Of course, everybody who signed up already will retain their price, and retroactively, those who joined a long time ago will also. Again, all the people who are currently holding whatever price you're holding, you will retain that regardless of the price increase, okay? You guys all stay on the very same prices. When we're going to go retest 4,800 again, in my assumption pools, again, I cannot tell you when. You see, I don't play the when game, but I can tell you that it appears to be like this is the very next step. And so, in fact, if you would have hung out with us today earlier, I said that in my mind, the way I perceive the price action and the setup to look like is that we're going to end up a lot more bearish than bullish. In fact, start moving downwards. So I expected the market to start moving down today. Although I've said, yeah, we could end up just sort of spending more momentum, more time, and just to end up spilling over into next week. It's something I've warned about in the beginning of the week. In fact, I said this week might end up being spent going sideways, basically. I mean, at the end of the day, if you really observe this sort of price action, what have we done? Nothing. We stayed within this framework of the very same support and resistance levels that we've tested from before. So nothing all that surprising, nothing that we are not familiar with. That said, this is where it starts going all the way to the other side, to the under. But basically, those are levels that we're familiar with. We tested them pretty well. And so what we're doing is, if you ask my opinion, retesting them one final time before we proceed into next week, which we are far more prepared to have more bearish momentum. Basically, it appears to be that our next step would be, if anything, if we're even able to dwell within the vicinity of these resistances, all in all, we're going to start spilling over, as you can see on the momentum on the 45 minutes, for example. On a 1 hour, we're basically stuck on the ceiling, right? We're starting to see the forces, the convergence, divergence, although start to happen above the 50, which we're normally used to seeing these forces converge, diverge around the 50 itself. This time around, they crossed through a little bit, but then again, when you switch over to 4 hours, you realize this is just a so basically what we're seeing is this microchasm, and currently we're more so in a bearish trend than we are in a bullish trend. And even if temporarily we're going to have some form of corrective movement inside for an hour or a couple, it's not gonna play a big role on our way to the 50, after which we'll end up probably breaking down, retesting, and then breaking down further more, which we are again talking about the 4,800, the 5,000. Remember, these time frames are not too long, so we are talking about the beginning of next week pretty much. So as you can see, this setup already as it stands, it appears to be that next week is going to be very bearish, even if whether right away or it's going to take one session or maybe two at worst, although I don't believe it will take even that. I'm pretty sure from how this stands and is currently structured, I would argue that it appears to be that we're going to start bearish. In other words, we're going to start dropping. In fact, I would argue that the market was ready to drop. It just didn't drop for, well, again, if it's options execution, if it's all sorts of sort of reasons that, again, if it's they want to move the market in advance too far, so we're going to have reactive movements next week, and just kind of unload it all on next week and have a very sharp movement. As it appears, as it stands, the market is basically preparing to be very bearish next week. And I'll remind you again, and I've warned about this multiple times, and we've said and we've seen this before, the same way I warned you about how this is going to happen around the 50, I am now warning you how we're going to have something similar around the 20, even if it will cross slightly above, but all in all will still result in pressure that will keep us within the framework of the oversold territory, and subsequently leading to a continuation of a downtrend, which, as we said, shortly, you interpret shortly as you wish, relatively shortly, right? Some would say 5 minutes. Shortly is different in everybody's mind, but I would say shortly we will find ourselves again at 5,000, 48, and that vicinity. How is Plug doing? Roughly about the same. It's kind of flattish right now, flattening down on a level we're very well familiar with. It is, let me show you, so kind of people are panicking. Again, if you're panicking, you shouldn't be in it in the first place, just kind of what I'm saying. So again, if you're looking closely, and you're going to realize these levels, just to give you an idea where we're at, you're going to realize something very, very interesting. Let me show you something interesting, so you're going to understand how these sort of cycles work. You see that black line I just put? You see, so this level is not unknown to us, the same way the 167 is not unknown to us, or in fact the whole array of levels. But all this means is I have an opportunity to pick it up at roughly $1 basically, and enjoy when it will rally to the upside towards around $10. That's kind of roughly my guesstimate, if you will, over the long run. It will take a long time. And so again, if you don't have the ability to withstand the pain, shouldn't be in it. Or find Philip and you. And they're like, no, look, Philip, no hate. I mean, I get it. You actually, maybe you come with a question from the best intentions and you actually like it and all that. I'm good. So you see, like I had a feeling. Look, the reality is that I personally now have 2,000 shares of Plug. On normal, legitimately, I'm going to tell you that my estimate for what the size of the position that I wanted to have was these 2,000 shares. Under the price, given that, of course, I have other things to spend on and whatnot, but I'll probably will end up buying a little bit more just to get a better average, because this price is just ridiculous not to buy. Again, I'm relying on an inevitable trade, in essence, that, well, so I consider it, and by the technicals, it is coming. It just can take months to materialize, and so I don't mind. I'm just kind of buying in and waiting. At the end of the day, imagine this is like a jar you put at home and put $1,000 in it, and you walk up to it in half a year, and suddenly magically it has 10 times that, right? I mean, of course, I'm not putting 1,000, I'm putting just a little bit more, but to me that's shrimp money. That's something I can afford to spend on that. So What's your confidence levels on the US dollar? That is an interesting question. Look, the US dollar will be um, um, you need to understand that the dollar is, even when it's going to be at its weakest, it will always remain to be the strongest currency of the world, simply because no other currency can compete for that title, because no other country can or will democratically defend that value. Another thing that people don't understand, the dollar, although was removed from the golden standard by Nixon at 1971, it was correlated or coupled in with the oil, which created a petrodollar kind of standard. So where we're talking here about basically the petrodollar, and in essence, the dollar is the main currency. So even when it's going to be at its weakest, it will still be the worldwide controlling currency and strongest. So at its weakest, still going to be strongest. That's kind of what it is. Why is that? Oh, wait, what are we asking? Why is that what? Watching 11 likes. I agree. All have to like. Greg get the absolutely. Fidelity wouldn't allow market order on plug under $1. That sucks. That really does suck. Hmm. Could be. It could be. Now that sucks. Interesting. Ask them about the nature of the account or the nature of the reason. I mean, that is interesting. $1. Again, I can't help you with that. To be sure, to be certain, my best advice would be to simply call them up and make sure you understand the conditions, the reasoning, and how you can go around it, right? 76 for plug eventually? No. I mean, maybe, but that's not what I'm waiting for. Centurion Mark, look, look, look. I'm gonna try and simplify this so you can see what it is that is going to happen. You see, again, we're scraping the bottom, right? If we're looking on the weekly chart, and a turnover, a crossover, even over the longer duration periods of time, we're kind of there, around the corner. There is a cyclical structure that appears to be that we're basically already at the end of, and high correlation with oil that is starting to pick up, although shouldn't have dropped so low. But then again, Trump's increase of oil drilling and just narrative and sentiment. Yes, my kid really wants in. And so that eventually, with in solidarity, we'll see some effects over energy in general. But what I'm relying on is a lot lesser than 76 or whatever. No, but what I'm relying on is basically the stock to continue maybe scraping this bottom for what could end up being maybe a month or so, maybe less. But we're already starting to see the pickup, although some of you will say, well, Greg, it's just doing whatever it did right here. No, it's not. Actually, the volume is starting to increase. And over these sort of shorter periods, this is how we go kind of climb out, if you will. And again, I'm not looking to gain here any $76, anything crazy of that sort. I would keep you guessing to what I'm waiting for. It doesn't matter. I mean, if anything, I'll inform my community internally, of course. But for now, it's so far off that it's sort of irrelevant to talk about. But I'll tell you that it's far enough for me to withstand the pain of now seeing it at $1, if I can call it pain, right? Because some of the members here can tell you, those who know me a lot better, $1 on an asset that I put a tiny bit of, just sort of, like I said, shrimp money. I don't think I'm gonna get too upset, even if that thing goes to zero. Although I doubt that's the case. And so yeah, my assessment is not as high as you're aiming, but also high enough to be worth it the time to sit and wait. So that's plug. That's plug in short. And the really interesting thing, by the way, is how we are basically more than done and over with on hugging that bottom. And some people would argue, well, we can do that forever. We're sitting still on zeros and whatnot. And I will argue that what I'm trying to catch is not one of these, right? We'll think about one of these later, but for now, I just need one of these, right? That's all I need to get what I want. I'm just gonna give you a hint. Uh, that is that. So Plug is doing well. Nothing changed really. That's the thing. Nothing changed. They just dropped to a lower price like the rest of the market, and with it, sort of the asset is moving in solidarity with the rest of the market. And with energy, as energy was recently deteriorating, and it's not the second energy picks up, the rest of the sector picks up with it. So it takes a little while. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, the gist of Plug. And Plug is kind of unique. It's incomparable to the rest of the market and everything else we've been seeing, and the overall expectation with the market. But the overall expectation is still stands as it was. The market will continue deteriorating and breaking down lower and lower and creating new lower lows. Of course, retesting with some highs when the bulls will be going bananas and saying, to the moon, suddenly everything is fine. They'll be loading into the market while the market slowly boiling them, and just killing them off. Although I would argue that most of them are not ready to. Most of the people who were not able to. I mean, it's pretty simple. Let me just clarify this. It's pretty goddamn simple. People who are not willing to sell at 54 or 55 or 56, I bet you they're not willing to sell right now at 52. So they continue sitting and waiting and praying to the chair or whatever, and hoping that the market cares, will pan out or something. Market don't care. Market doesn't care about you, doesn't know about your existence. In fact, the only thing market cares about is taking your money or anybody's money. It's not about you, them. It simply is what it does, right? And the market will be going down, whether you like it or not. And I hate to make it sound like that, but so the only thing you can do is just be prepared, understand the cycles, understand the reasons, understand the tools that you can use to measure all that beautiful stuff. And that's why I highly recommend you join the Patreon before the price increases, because the price will be going up on the 19th in like a day and a half. And so yeah, definitely catch it now while it's half price. In fact, let me show you, so there will be no. What is that? What is that? That's sorry, that came from. I didn't expect that coming from where it came from. So yeah, here it is. Right here is the Patreon. So that's patreon.com/investory. Here are the two tiers. This one will give you 2 meetings a week and more advanced material. This will give you more basic material and 1 meeting a week as a bare minimum. Of course, extra events, ad-free content, which I post to my members. And so this thing will be $20 from the 19th in like 2 more days, and this will be $40. So definitely join in now, and don't tell me, oh, I wanted this, that. I literally made it the simplest way possible. No need for promo codes. Just simply join in and you enjoy the benefits, right? That will allow you to join Discord. In fact, there's a whole message here that describes that none of the activities will be done on Patreon itself, but all the activities will be done on Discord. So definitely, once you join Patreon, transition to Discord, so you'll be able to enjoy these benefits, because everything, all the activities that I've mentioned, whether it's the one-on-one teaching that I do here, whether it's the members, hello guys, much love you all, and the academy, the hangouts, the ad-free content, all that beautiful stuff will be located right here. Okay. That's it. That is it, I guess. We were also supposed to have another meeting yesterday, but then again, I ended up informing everybody about everything. Another thing, if anybody ever reaches out to you, pretend to be me. Nope, nor Elrond. Nope, those are fake people. Here is Elrond. You can find Elrond when you use the app. You go here to the members list, you turn it on as such. Then you see our Elrond, and you can see it's him here. And if you send him a message, and you see that this message goes to a text box that does not have the history of that other Elrond supposedly that sent you a message, that's not one and the same. Our Elrond should have mutual servers between you and them. Yeah, I can show it right now because of the stream. By the way, yeah, so Elrond, much love you, goddamn beautiful brother. So yeah, be attentive. Don't believe any scammers if they offer you, copy trading, bot trading, all sorts of bot trading. I don't know, whatever the hell they will be offering you. Say no. The only way to sign up to my one-on-one academy is by having a one-on-one call with me. Only then I give you the details, how to pay for it, and all that beautiful stuff. Of course, you can ask about the Academy via opening a ticket right here in one of the support channels, letting me know, Greg, I want to know more about the Academy, blah, blah, blah. We'll then manage a call, schedule you, and all that beautiful stuff. So be very, very attentive, on the guard, and don't trust anything that is suspicious. If you're not sure, simply ask in the Discord, in the community, in the chat. There'll be multiple people that will be more than happy to assist you and tell you whether they think you're talking to the real person or to the fake person. And here you can just directly talk to Elrond. So please, yeah, do that. That is a quick update for about the community and all that beautiful stuff we did not forget, I believe. Let's see. They are evil. They are. I'm not even gonna say what they are, because then YouTube will definitely ban me. All right, boys and girls. So since the market is already closed, since tomorrow we have a day off, I wish you all a wonderful holiday and a good rest. I'll say something very simple thing here is that our expectation, or at least my analysis, from the previous live calls and the community ad-free content and all the videos I've made recently in the last, I would say, week, all of it still stands. If during that week, when I said we're going to spend some time and eventually, if we'll have enough time, we'll spill over downwards, and we did not do that, but we have all the momentum necessary for it, guess what that means? That's why we don't time the market. We simply wait for the event to actually occur, and it may take a little longer than expected, because that expectation is not a benchmark, but just kind of a rough guesstimate. That doesn't change how much money I make at the end. I don't do options, and that's, for me, is basically the whole idea of time is redundant. And here I gotta admit, I agree with Tom Nash 1,000, God, million, 1,000%, right? Timing the market is a very bad idea, or being dependent on the time factor. Even if you are as knowledgeable as I am, and if you have the expertise, if you have the experience, it is still not recommended to try and time things, because the market can deviate left and right, and, well, I'm exaggerating left, it can do up and down and prolong any process. Or as we call it, basically stay rational longer than we can stay solvent, right? So I would not recommend trying to time the market, right? My strategy is completely different. That's it, boys and girls. The market is closed. We're done for this week. The expectation for next week is a lot more bearish, basically a continuation of the channel and the trend as is, roughly towards the 5,000 or 48 area. It doesn't mean it will happen in a single go, in a single day, or in a single hour. Get used to these processes taking sometimes entire weeks. And that is it. I guess there is nothing new to say other than that. I hope to see you all in the community. Definitely. Ask about the One-on-One Academy. Don't forget to smash the like, push it, smash it, kill it, do whatever you need to do with it. Subscribe, ring the bell, move it to notification to everything, so you will be always up to speed, not gonna miss anything. And definitely join the community. That's the best way to be truly informed, gain more knowledge. It is tremendous, amazing resource. And that's not because I'm saying that. You can here see the reviews of the Academy members and the testimonials channel. It is right here. I'm a stupid moron. You have the various testimonials. I'm sure I'm going to see some new ones from some of the students who just recently finished, or at least I hope they will have the time and the words to explain how it was. And so I definitely recommend. One spot is already taken. I'm just down to 2 final spots in the One-on-One Academy. Don't miss out, because if you will, then you'll have to wait potentially several months to gain access to it. In the One-on-One Academy, if you have not figured it out yet, we go into this one-on-one channel where only me and a student get together at the scheduled time, and I teach them like you would get a tutor for math for your daughter or son. I do that with you, but instead I teach you how to do charting, proper technical analysis. Just join your Patreon. Thanks, Greg. My pleasure. I'm glad you have joined. Welcome into the community. Make sure, though, those who are joining, make sure you go to this first channel. First, you'll see only 2 channels. Left click me. Make sure your Patreon and Discord accounts are connected. There are various tips here. For example, the Discord should not be used through your browser, but rather downloaded as a proper app to your computer. Then it will function a lot smoother and better. This, for example, explains that the server is 100% private. So if you are being harassed, sadly, that's probably not from my server. But it could happen, remember? I mean, what I can promise you is that these people are not in the server. Like the scammers are not on the server. We don't have them. They cannot make it in because all these other channels are open only once you become a full-fledged proper paying member. And then, by the way, if you're a Patreon member, you don't need also to connect your YouTube. No. If you're a Patreon member, you connect your Patreon. If you're a YouTube member, you connect your YouTube. That's pretty simple. And yeah, that's it. Join so you'll be able to hang out with us in the community. Participate in the hangouts, participate in the meetings. Definitely don't forget to check out the ad-free content, which will always be posted right here in the YouTube alerts, which will also be mentioned in the main chat. For example, just to kind of show off how we do this. That means we put it there and all sorts of things. Yeah, we discuss anything and everything in my community. And of course, members exclusive, ad free. That's how you can find it here when it's being sort of released, and in the YouTube alerts, so you can find the members exclusives. Of course, the recorded meetings will be in the archives, right? The recording meetings in the recording archive. And that's it. That is it, boys and girls. Hope to see you in the Discord, in the community, in the Hangouts. And I'll see you next week. I'll wish you all happy holidays, whichever one you're having, Easter, Passover, whatever, other holidays I'm not familiar with. But I'll wish you all to have a great, relaxing, proper holiday. Ladies and gents, I'll see you on the next one. And bye for now, I guess.